What's up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. We're going to be doing the disassembly and maintenance for my Divo Knives Pony Stout. Let's get into it. All right, so what you'll need for this, if I know anything about Kev and Colin and their designs, you're going to need a good T8. I recommend Weehaw bits. There are some very affordable tools linked down below if you don't already have some. This is the Combat Beads Griffin tool driver, and I am going to be doing disassembly from the lock bar side. That is the side that I like to do it from the most because I find that it's easier for me to control. I'm going to go ahead and start by removing the pocket clip and the pocket clip. There we go. And pocket clip screw are steel. If I recall what I heard correctly from Kevin, in order to cut costs, they did go ahead and use steel hardware. And I am okay with that because this is a great little knife. And steel hardware has been used on knives in this territory for the longest time. So again, no issues with that. It's well built. The parts and the hardware and everything from QSP are really well done. So now that we have all of the hardware out and magnetized, we can go ahead and lay that down and you can remove your scale. Looks like there's a little bit of oil in there. I'm not sure if that's from me or if that's from the factory. Yeah, I think that's from the factory, and you can see it's been breaking in nicely. Very well oiled from the factory, so love to see that. QSP, very tight on the tolerances. Everything feels very snugly placed, no play, nothing's really loose. So it should be relatively easy to clean. I'm going to go ahead and use my Divo Stout cloth here to do the cleaning. That one must have a little bit more oil in it than I thought. Let's see, maybe if I can wipe it down a little. There we go. So it does look a little dirty and grimy, but I have a feeling that some of that is actually just because it is a black washed blade and that the coating is coming off. But as you can see, it cleans up very nicely. I'm not going to worry about the pivot. These are 5mm 1/16. If I recall Kevin, again, his video, he has one out there where he went ahead and installed some skiffs. But I'll be completely honest with you, these bearings from QSP for a budget knife, being that they are ceramic, are extremely good. And I don't know that you're going to improve the action on this too much outside of what we're doing right here today, and that is cleaning it and re-oiling it with the good stuff. And I love Hops gun oil. Use it for my pew pew. It doesn't gum up, it doesn't break down or degrade over time. So that is one of the reasons that I do like to use that here. I'm not doing a ton of food prep, and if I am, I'm not over coating everything so that I'm worried about whether or not that is going to get on the food. So let me go ahead and finish cleaning all this up and clean some of that oil out there. I don't need to tune anything on this. It's fine just the way that it is. So everything should be clean, should be good to go. At the end of this, I am going to bring out my Jack Wolf Venom Jack. If you're curious about maintenance on that and what to do with that, I'm happy to share that with you, but we're going to go ahead and finish up the Stout. So I'm going to get my dispenser. This is linked down in the description. It's not the greatest, but it does a pretty good job, so I am happy with that. When we disassembled this, as you could see, the outside of the bearings were face out. So make sure that you do that as well. So go ahead, face out when you drop this one down. I also like to install just a little bit of nano oil. I mean, not nano oil, a little bit of the hops right there on the pivot as well so that it'll break in. And then you can install the blade, drop just a ooh, there's a lot coming out there. Let me clean that up just a little bit there in front of the detemp ball. Not too much. That probably is a little bit more than what you really need. But this applicator, once it gets flowing, for whatever reason, it likes to keep going. So that's what she said. We'll go ahead and install the last bearing here. This is, again, a very simple, really easy knife to maintain. Minimal hardware, which is great. I'm going to clean some of that oil off there. And I don't know why I threw my Divo knives cloth way up there. Go ahead and reinstall the liner. Click right into place. Go ahead and reinstall your scale. Hopefully you can see okay. Then what I'm going to do is grab my T8 and whoops, I picked up the hardware and the pivot. Go ahead and reinstall your pivot. Try to get you a good angle there so you can see that. Now, I'm not putting thread locker on here because it hasn't tried to back out at all. QSP does a pretty good job on most of their knives with installing hardware to where you don't need the thread locker and the pivot. Now, my Penguin Plus, because I got the jigged, I think it didn't have as much to grip onto with that flat pivot. So I ended up having to use thread locker on that. But most of my QSP stuff, I find that I really don't need thread locker no matter how much I fidget with or cut and use with. I've never really encountered an issue with my QSPs having any type of issue with it backing out. Now, this feels like it's spinning on the other side, so we'll come back to that in just a second to address that. Go ahead and reinstall the pocket clip. I did want to share this with some of you all because I did see where some folks are struggle with it. Now, one thing that you can do with this is just like a pair of chopsticks. You can just pinch it in the wire pocket clip just like that. When you flip it over, just use your fingers to hold it in place and then pinch here as well. And what you can do while you have that pinched is you can just lay that down in there and it should go in, and just put pressure down on the clip so that as it expands, you're getting it in those holes. It's a little hard for me to demonstrate that, but oh, did it go in? Oh, it went in. And then once you lay it in there, because you will have released it and it'll go in there, it just makes it a little bit easier, I have found in my experience, to put the clip back on. I just wanted to share that because I saw even Kevin was struggling a little bit putting one of his back in. I'm going to grab my other Griffin Combat Beads driver here in the Ultim, which is really beautiful. I love the transparency on that, and I love the way that it plays with the light when it's moving around, and you can see the magnet and everything. Kind of cool just to see that on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Looking centered, so I'm not going to worry too much about movement here. I'm just going to use, let me do this the other way. I'm just going to use the tool here to kind of hold this one still, and the knife. And I love the girthiness on here because it does make it easier for me with the larger hands to be able to grab it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and crank just a little bit on there, not too much. I don't need to drive it into the micarta or anything like that. Let's check really quick. Action feels good. I got a little hint of blade play, so we can go just a little bit tighter. Ooh, that felt too tight. Yeah, that's too, maybe not. Hold on. Yeah, just a little too tight. Hold on, let me back out just a smidge. I had to do this when I first got it too. It took a second to try to minimize. Ooh, that's too much. Trying to minimize the movement and make sure that it's locked up solid. There we go. Nice solid lockup. Oh, am I still too tight? Hold on, let's see here. Let's open it and close it a few times. I think it's right on the border, but let's go ahead and clean the blade off. I can play with it over the coming days. It feels okay. Let's see. No play. Drops to the nail. And the knife is definitely dead center. Really cool little model. I love this. I leave it in my What-A-Slide organizer, pouch, whatever you want to call it. It fits perfect in there. This is great for fifth pocket. If you wanted, you could also get yourself a Northwood slip, and you could throw it in a slip. You could easily remove the pocket clip. Now, Kevin did inform me I had mistakenly said in the unboxing that I thought that the additional screw was to replace the pivot. but that is not the case. He said it's actually the other screw that goes here as well to cover up the hole. So I need to go and get it out of the box. I just have not had time. I've been so busy. But that is the disassembly and maintenance. Again, 5mm 3/16, I think 5mm 3/16. I can't remember. Future me, you're going to have to throw that up on the screen. So a couple things that I'm going to do really quickly. I am going to grab the mineral oil in case anyone's interested in that. And I'm going to throw the mineral oil on top of the fat carbon dark matter. And then I'm going to use the Q-tip to go ahead and clean up some of the oil that's in here that I put when I initially got the knife to keep the joints nice and lubricated so the friction didn't cause any premature wear and tear. And because I don't want to force patina my micarta, I'm just going to set that aside really quick. This is just a little bit of bonus for anyone out there that is interested. So you can just go ahead and put some on the finger in this instance and rub it together on your fingers. And then that should be enough just to put on the dark matter scale. Let it kind of absorb a little bit. And then we'll flip it over to the other side. A little hard to do this under the camera. And then I have it on both those fingers. So just going to let it slide in a little bit. If it gets on the titanium or on the blade, that's fine. It's no big deal. Just going to let it absorb well. Make sure that it's nice and lubed up. And this is just to condition the fibers to keep them from wearing out, especially on such an expensive model. You definitely don't want it wearing out prematurely or drying out and breaking down. You want this to last and you want it to look good, and that's the main motivation behind the mineral oil on fat carbon and micartas, or carbon fiber in general in micarta, not just to force patina or change the look, but also, and I like these microfibers, they're super absorbent, so to get the initial coat off of there, I'll use the ones that are already out here. And we'll go ahead and clean this as well. Wife's home, so the garage door is opening, so we'll fast forward after to where I'm cleaning this up. All right, I am leaving the garage door open, so the sprinklers are running in the background. If you do hear that, I do apologize, but it's really nice here today, so I thought I would just leave it open to go ahead and finish cleaning this. I think I have these little circuit board cleaner Q-tips linked down in the description. They're super cheap to get a bunch of them. What I'm going to be doing, I don't know why I keep saying I'm going to just use it to kind of clean up the dirt and excess oil here. So you can see it is really dirty. I did clean it when I got it, and this is pretty much after lubing what I'm doing to kind of maintenance. It'll still have the oil in the joints, and it'll be a little dirty down in the joints, but this is a good way just to clean up any excess oil, any dirt from breaking in. And you'll want to do this, in my opinion, a few times when you're breaking in your Jack Wolf or any traditional slip joint. So I'm just going to clean down in here, try to clean that up. And actually, as much as I'm getting, I'm going to go ahead and get one more. I probably should have gotten two to begin with. I'm going to get one more, clean it up. I'm not going to add any more oil, but that's just what I wanted to share at the end of this little video for y'all today. So I will mark this as the disassembly and maintenance for the Pony Stout, and I will also show you a little bit. I will mark this as maintenance for the Venom Jack as opposed to show you a little bit of maintenance, but just a little bit of my care for this particular knife and what I'm doing to keep it clean, get any dirt, debris, guck, and things of that nature out of here, which these little things are great for. And as you can see, it's not nearly as dirty now. So that really should take care of it. That should take care of the knife. Makes the I love this color. It really plays with the light, and they put a lot of that gold in there. I think it looks absolutely stunning, and I love this model. This is my favorite Jack Wolf so far. Listen to that walk and talk. Beautiful knife. But that is it. Little care for your Jack Wolf, maintenance for my little Pony Stout. I hope this video helped you out there. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like. Shout out to everyone out there that does like, comment, and is subscribed. I love you guys, and I appreciate all the support. I hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.